Hello and a very good afternoon, good morning, welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby and we are here for a fun afternoon of the softer side of life, but softer side of life not as you know it, because it is a softer side of life social. Woo! Yeah, if you missed the big preview this morning, first of all, where were you? Where's your note? Please hand it in at the end. But secondly, we are going to be previewing, or not previewing, bring you all the deals that we previewed this morning because we've got our spring sale on, of course. That has been running right throughout this week. Again, if you haven't been with us this week, you won't know about this, but we have up to 70% off a huge range of items on the website. That's the official line that I've got to tell you, apparently, but you'll find out for yourself. You click on the spring sale logo on the web, click on that, it'll open up tons of other boxes that you can then click on, and you'll see one that plainly says up to 80% off. But there's deals right there, right across that section. We've got deals as part of National Craft Month as well, and a whole host more. This show is kind of the spring sale show on all things Softcraft, if you like. And what you'll see on this show as well is deals that aren't yet loaded into that spring sale category, if that makes sense. So if you love your Softcraft, maybe you're someone who used to do a little bit and have popped the sewing machine away and you're thinking about getting back into it, stick with us because there's some amazing deals across this show, from mystery bags to the bag making dies that we previewed earlier, which are flying out of the door, and also lots of multimedia dies too. So even if you are a paper crafter and perhaps you're not that interested in Softcraft, there's certainly loads of deals that you guys will be able to pick up as well. And we will also, I'm sure, at points be looking back at some of the other deals that we had yesterday from Cartload, which is still live. So there's lots to bring to you, lots for everybody over the course of this show. And whilst we're here, you guys can get in touch. You can ask the questions. You can let us know what you're doing for the weekend, who's doing what, who's got a big weekend lined up. Do let us know. And I'm sure we will get chatting about some random topic over the course of the next sort of hour and 45 minutes or so. Earlier on, we were talking about first memories. Then we ended up. What else did we end up talking about? Oh, I can't remember. We just went off tangent completely. But you see, it happens when I'm here with the lovely Leanne, because we just end up chatting about all sorts, don't we? Really. We
just have a nice time catching up, Ben. Absolutely, and we like to involve you in our conversations and our random ramblings. We should have a little segment called Random Ramblings in the week, Ben, where we just sit and have a chat for 15 minutes and see where we go. No script, no pre-defined topic. We just sit down and go, how are you? And see where we end up.
Let's get ready to ramble. Let's get ready to ramble. Get ready, get steady, and ramble. Everybody ramble.
Psych. Oh my goodness, we're going to have a good time, aren't we, Ben? We really are.
Yes.
I'm thrilled to be here with you. You know how much Softcraft has a tender little place in my heart. So to be here with some fabulous deals for you, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to the time that we've got ahead of us.
Yeah, and also, if you are watching this right now, obviously you're watching us right now, because obviously if you weren't, you wouldn't know that I was saying this. But if you know somebody who loves their Softcraft and you know they're not watching us, give them a little nudge and say, oh, hey, a brilliant Softcraft sales show on Crafters TV, and get them across. And again, if you are new today, maybe like Lynn Morton, who joined us earlier on, watching for the first time, new to the channel, give us a little wave, give us a little hi. We have got Radical Rachel on the socials once again, so she will throw your hello my way, and I'll give you a little shout out on the show. Talking of shout outs, let's just say a few of those. Teresa Campbell is back with us saying good morning. Hope everyone is well. We are. Barbara R is in from Indiana. Carletta Morris joins us from Arkansas. And Lillian says, hello, Leanne and Ben. The London sky just darkened and it's thundering.
Oh,
and huge hailstones are falling.
Oh my word, that's dramatic.
It is. We need you to brighten my afternoon. We can do that.
We can definitely do that. We once had a hailstorm here in the northeast, you know, Ben, and the hails were like golf balls.
What?
Yes, and it literally put a whole. We had to run outside, and I kid you not, put a duvet on top of my son's car because there was dents in the roof of the car off the hails. People next door, their conservatory roof cracked. This is a true story. I've got a video of that somewhere on my phone. I will show it to you, Ben, with the size of the hail. It's unbelievable.
Was that recent times or is that?
No,
like...
this was about, going to say about 5 to 6 years ago.
Wow. Hailstones of biblical proportions.
Yeah.
Lois is in from Ohio. Lindsay's in from Carmarthenshire. And Gareth Dobbs is in from the crafty gentlemen, the crafty guys. This is good afternoon, Leanne, Ben, Rachel and all the team. We have Johnny and George in the gallery today steering the Good Ship Craft. So let us crack on. We're going to have a look at, well, now here's the thing. This mystery bag, right, was supposed to launch now. We thought we would have had enough stock, certainly, to get through this show. However, we previewed it, I think, twice, maybe 1.5 times over the course of the Wake Up Call show. And I can announce that, not unbelievably, wait till you see what's in it, it is already limited stock. There's green on the screen, which means...
It soon won't be seen.
It's going to go, it's going to disappear, and you'll understand why when you see what's in it. The value here, Leanne, is off the chart, and as you sort of explained earlier, it's a great little bag as well, isn't it, for people perhaps wanting to get back into softcraft or indeed get started.
Absolutely, it's got a little bit of something for everybody, Ben. So we'll go through what's in there, and then we'll have a chat about the different uses. Oh, hello, come in. Hello, come in. What was that? That was the thunderstorm making its way up from London all the way here to the Newton Aycliffe. Now, in this bag, you're getting these are the things that you're paying for. This is your value that you can see on the screen in these 2 items here, where you've got a fabulous bag set of dies where you can make that lovely crossbody or a clutch bag, and you've got one of the most usable die sets you'll ever have if you are a soft crafter, a patchworker, a quilter, and that is a hexagon. And with this hexagon shape, you get 2 beautifully proportioned dies that you can just cut fabric from and patchwork together. Or if you want to do English paper piecing, you've got the perfect distance for the paper inside and the fabric outside, so that you can put all of your English paper pieces together and make some beautiful hand-sewn quilted projects. So you're paying for those, and you're getting a great amount of dies in that pack, really usable to do that lovely crossbody or clutch and your hexagon. That's what you're paying for. But remember, the price on the screen, you get 15% off that today. So you're going to take another 15% off whether you are a platinum member or not. You get an extra 15% off, and if you're platinum, £20.40 or $27. $27.20?
Wow.
I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? So that's your value. That's what you're paying for. And then everything I'm about to show you now, you're getting completely free of charge. So you're getting this fabulous set of dies, which is this rick-rack kind of chevron border for your quilted projects. And they don't just have to be for quilted projects. It can be on the edges of lampshades, on the edges of curtains, on your bags. You could just be making shaped ribbon. You could be putting bunting on this and use it for bunting binding. So many different uses for this. It's one of our fabulous dies where it doesn't cut on the top and bottom edge. So if you fold your fabric in a concertina way, you're going to get continuous lengths depending on the length of your piece of fabric with this border in those 3 different shapes of rick-rack. You're also getting this foliage set of dies, which is great for doing applique, beautiful size. Use 5 or 7 of those orange peel shapes and you'll get a beautiful floral bloom on top of there. We're getting a die set to create the clothing for our cute characters, maybe for dolls. If you've got a granddaughter or a daughter who has a dolls and you want some dungarees, that'll be brilliant for that. We're also getting this die set applique with those beautiful flowers in there. You're getting another, my personal favourite English paper piecing style of die is clamshell. I absolutely love it. And like the hexagon, you've got 2 perfect sizes so that you can quilt and patchwork, or you can English paper piece with that. You're getting a whole roll of our zips on a roll. The right way up, and that lovely ivory cream tone, so lovely neutral shade. You've got a massive amount, and let me just tell you how many metres you've got. I'm sure it'll tell you somewhere. I'm looking. You've got 5.47 yards, 5 metres of zip on that roll, and 10 zip pulls.
Okay.
And so you can cut any length of zip you like.
Perfect.
Absolutely fantastic for custom bag making projects where you need a zip which is 14.23 inches long.
Wow.
where you're going to buy a zip that long. So
exactly.
it's brilliant, absolutely game-changing having your zips on a roll. I only ever use zips on a roll now. You're getting a whole pack of these fabulous little quilting clips. They're brilliant for holding your project still instead of pins when you're going through a machine, especially when you're holding multiple layers of fabric together. You're getting a whole pack of 5-inch square fabric pieces in a beautiful floral mix design with some complementaries in there and some different shades as well, and some big bold patterns, very pretty. I've got a quilt at home where I used one of these packs and just sewed all the squares together in chains, and I think I did 5 by 6 in terms of squares, and made a lap quilt.
Okay.
So you just need some backing and some binding. So there's a lap quilt in your bag, just for you to assemble. You're also getting a revolutionary even, binding tool where you can cut your binding strips and miter them perfectly, and also join the miter on a quilt so it's seamless when you're putting your binding on a quilt. That is a game changer when it comes to putting beautiful seamless binding around your quilted projects. All of that, Ben, is coming in addition in that bag. You're not paying for any of that. It's all entirely free in that value. You've got £130.89 or £173.63 worth of value in this bag. You're paying for those first 2 items I showed you, which are those 2. And then everything else you're getting completely free of charge.
I don't mind telling you, because I'm always open and honest. If we had a little sticker here that said Super Duper Pooper Scooper Limited Stock, it would say that because you got that one, George. Dig that out for later. I knew it must be in there somewhere. If you think limited stock, it probably means they've got, I don't know, just under 100 left. We've got 12. That's how much you've decimated the stock since this morning, and in between shows, 12 left. And that's not counting, I would have thought, a lot of people who perhaps already have this in their basket as well. If you want to get one of the best value items, bang for buck on the show, 12 people will get this. Everybody else, you miss out. And worth bearing in mind, I know Leanne touched on it as well, that's not even the price, because we spanned the wheel this morning. That's why you're getting an extra 15% off. A wheelie, great deal from the Wheel of Deals this morning. 15% off every price that you see on the screen, every price that you see on the website. It's site-wide. There you go, 15% off. It's where it landed. So the deals in the shows, deals in Masterclass later, deals on top of the deals that you've got in the spring sale. So I said earlier on, 70% off in the spring sale, up to 80% off in the spring sale. You'll get 80% off, then you'll get your discount in the club, then you'll get a further 15% off. It must come to a point where we're almost giving stuff away for zero. I mean, seriously, there must be items on the website where you're going, hang on, that's about 2p. The deals are incredible today. 15% off only until midnight. Then you have that kind of like limbo period until tomorrow when Play Your Crafts will be here, and Lily will spin that wheel again. Could be 15% off again tomorrow, could be something else, but it's definitely that today. So a few questions coming in. Philip, I've noted your question. I'll hang fire until maybe Leanne shows that particular product in just a little while. But on the subject of the hailstones as well, Philip does say, Leanne, I'm from Sunderland, and I can confirm, Ben, that it did happen. I never doubted, Leanne, but hailstones the size of golf balls. Absolutely.
It was terrifying. The sound and the concern. You literally, when me and my husband ran out to put the quilt on top of my son's car, so my husband had managed to pull his car under cover, and we had nowhere to put Peter's car, and he was working away, so it was just on our drive. When we ran out to put the quilt over the top of the car, we actually had bruises off the hailstones hitting us. I had 3 bruises on my arm. It was biblical. It was honestly, it was like, what is happening? Is the world about to end?
Or do you think it was like the end of the world as we know it?
Yeah, possibly. It was. I've never seen anything like it before, and I've never seen anything like it again. We had to have before he sold his car, the roof of his car, all the dints pulled out.
I suppose you don't remember that, Johnny. Were you up?
Johnny was probably having a nap.
Oh, jeez. Can I just also say as well, just on things to chat about, feel free to send in weather-related chat, but also I've just had a look whilst Leanne was talking to you then. Today's National Day, you're going to love this one.
Oh, come on.
It's a Friday, right?
Right.
Right, so what would be great, on a Friday we think about maybe going out, don't we? Huh?
Crunchies.
Crunchies?
Crunchies. Thank goodness. Crunchy.
Well, no, it's along lines of a treat, but it's Friday, yeah. Beers is good, Johnny. No, it's along that line. Today, National Cocktail Day.
Oh, I'm here for that, Ben. Oh, my word. What cocktail are you going to have tonight? I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to immediately walk in the door. I'm going to kick off my shoes and make an espresso martini.
Because we had this conversation. Have you got one of those like big cocktail cabinets where you press the button and it all lights up and opens up and plays a little tune?
No, but I'd love one. Like Pa Larkin.
Like Pa Larkin, yeah.
I would love one of those cocktail cabinets that's got like an organ in the background and all of the shelves and every single thing you would possibly ever need for a cocktail. I would be living my best life. In fact, if I win the lottery this weekend, that's the first thing I'm buying. Because I would be living my best life. It would be lovely. But I'm going to get in and I'm going to make an espresso martini. That's the first thing I'm going to do, I've decided.
Can you chat to me then? Because I like a beer now and again, but I've not really had a lot of cocktails in my life. So please, can you send in your favourite cocktail, what's in it, and then maybe by the end of the show I can decide, what cocktail I might make myself
Cosmopolitan.
this weekend.
You've got to love a Cosmopolitan.
What's in a Cosmopolitan?
If you don't like sweet, Cosmopolitans are perfect. They are vodka, Cointreau, sugar syrup, cranberry juice and lime.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Amaretto sour.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
What's the one with salt around the glass?
With the salt around?
Yeah.
That is a margarita.
A margarita.
I like a margarita, tequila based.
Yeah, that's the one that Mrs M drinks when we go on holiday.
Tequila. It makes
me happy.
Drink responsibly at home, can I just say? Don't drink all of the drinks, just have one cocktail. Yeah.
And also, don't drink and craft. I thought, John, sorry, I'm being circled here. It's like there's two sharks in the gym.
Can
What
I
do you need? Just come on in.
Ben and I are currently in shark-infested waters.
Yes.
Because Tracy and John are circling everywhere that you can't see. Looking under counters, looking behind cameras, looking on shelves. You really just need the music.
What are you looking for?
Guys, what are you looking for? Can we help you? What? What are you looking for? The boards. What kind of boards? These boards? Would you like them? I'll give them to you, John.
Someone wants the boards.
There you are, John, just for you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Secret garden. There's John, everybody. That was worthwhile, wasn't it, seeing John?
There you go. Bye, John. Bye, Tracy.
John, what's your favourite cocktail? Have you got a favourite cocktail?
Do you like a daiquiri?
A daiquiri? I don't know what that is.
Well, I like a daiquiri. Is frozen or not frozen?
Both.
Both, you don't mind. Yeah. Do you like an espresso martini?
Yes.
Me too. Brent, he's out there. Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do that for Brent's wedding. We're going to do an espresso martini tower. Tracy, what's your favourite cocktail? A mojito. Well done, Tracy.
Johnny, that's hilarious. What's Tracy's favourite cocktail? In my ear, he goes, pint of John Smith's. Oh, dear. Oh, she's coming your way now. Look out. Look out. Right, so yes. Can we open it up to mocktails? Mocktails and cocktails, whatever you like. You'll have to explain them to me as well, because I don't know, like, if you come up with like a weird name, like a, I don't know, like a Newton Aycliffe or something.
A screwdriver.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no... do you know what that is?
No, it is a cocktail. I have no clue what's in it. A Harvey Wallbanger. Don't know what's in one of them either.
A what?
Harvey Wallbanger.
Oh,
that's the
yeah,
one.
Harvey Wallbanger.
I do like a Singapore sling.
I don't know what that is.
That's gin based. It's like gin and fruit juices and Cointreau and lime and orange juice and a bit of cranberry. It's lovely.
Anyway, welcome to Cocktail TV.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, so get those in. And if you send him one in, the ingredients, please. And then by the end of the show, I'll pick my favourite cocktail and I'll have one tonight when I get in. Back to the show. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, softer side sale. Bag dyes. These have been tremendously popular over the course of the morning. We've got 4 different sets which allow you to make 4 different bags. And again, these are fantastic, right? Because the bags, the dies themselves cut you out everything you need. So this one's your satchel die. You've got the die in there to be able to create all of your panels. You've got your die here to create the gusset, and then you've got the front panel, the back panel, and basically it just allows you to be able to create these so much quicker with so much precision. And a lot of people, again, chatting earlier about jumping in and grabbing these, because if you, I don't know, I would imagine if you try to do this by hand, the chance of the error rate goes up. But when you've got dies to be able to cut out all of the most important components for you, then the error rate is going to go down. It means you can get to the fun bit quicker, and that's why these have been so super popular. Multimedia dies, of course, going to be using them in conjunction with your Gemini, and the deal on these, fantastic. 4 different sets to show you. This one's the satchel, which is going to allow you to make this beautiful bag here. Again, you choose the fabric that you're going to be working with. You know, a bag for all seasons, a bag for whatever your particular taste might be. You know, make bag for friends and family. What I love about this particularly as well is, you know, if you do love your bags, you're going into your shops and you're buying bags that everybody else has got. You know, this is your ability to be able to create a bag bespoke to you, unique to you, personal to you, and like I say, a bag for all occasions. Now, within each of these sets, you get the die set. Half the stock of this one is gone, and then we throw into the mix for half of the price some of our touch of velvet fabric, which is absolutely one of the softest things I think I've ever stroked. We likened it to puppy ears earlier on. Our Becky likens it to baby hamsters. It is just so gorgeous, and you're getting that for half price within the bundle. That's why it's so ridiculously, I'm going to use the word, cheap today. It's an absolute bargain. £40 or $52 every day of the week. Then we take off £26 or $34.45. Then you get your club inspired discount. So the majority of you are platinum, so we're talking this price here, but then you get an extra 15% off that price, because we spun the wheel and that's where it landed today, 15% off everything. So you can, that's under 10, isn't it? It's under $13. So what a deal. Half the stock's gone. That's your satchel die set. Now, there's some really good cocktails coming through, I think. Next up, the crossover bag. Again, same drill here, exactly the same what I said just a few moments ago. All of the dies in there to be able to create this cutesy little bag. And actually, you know, again, just looking through the different bags that we've got here, bags for all occasions, bags for kind of, you know, different friends and family. This one, I see this one more as, I mean, I'm not a bag expert by any means, but as like sort of your essentials really in this one, in your little crossover.
I would say that is more of an evening bag.
Oh, an evening bag, oh dear. Yeah.
Yes. So, see, your essentials for me
would be smaller.
Would be bigger.
Oh, really? No, but yeah, I mean, if you're going out for a night with just your
oh, just my essentials, right? Okay, yes. So a lipstick, a phone, my keys, and a credit card.
Yeah.
Yes. Then yes, absolutely.
But
essentials.
What's your essentials then? So
my essentials when I'm coming to work is I've got my full face, which is a big bag.
How big's the bag?
I've got a Brent. Absolutely creases up. I'll say, I'll not be a minute, I'm just going to put my face on. He's like, that is hilarious. Like, you're going to pick it out your bag, shake it off and whack it up, like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
So, you fit your idea. So, I've got my face.
Yeah.
I've got my iPad. I've got my keys. I've usually got a spare pair of shoes. I'll have things like...
shoes?
Yeah, because it's important. Like, because if I'm flats, if I'm running around, and then heels if I'm professional. So, I've got heels and flats, an umbrella. Usually a scarf for if I'm cold.
Wow.
And then I'll have things like, you might just need like hair combs, hairspray, big tin of deodorant, perfume.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to go in there then, is it?
Some gloves in case my hands are cold.
We're going to need a bigger bag.
Spare pair of socks in case for the flat shoes. So that's my essentials. But if I'm going out on a night, credit card, lipstick, keys, phone.
Okay. Good. As I was explaining, bag.
That was a long story, not short, wasn't it, Ben?
No, but I'm glad that you kind of told me, because it then puts in my mind the kind of things that you'd be using.
I am going to make that for Ada in the pink velvet.
Yes.
and I'm going to embroider, applique a letter A on the front for her.
Oh, that's super cute.
Because then she can have a little crossbody, she can put her little essentials in when we're going out, and then it's her little bag. So I'm going to be doing with that.
I remember when Daisy got her first little bag, and I don't know, she was maybe like 5 or 6, and it was like the biggest deal in the world for her to be able to just have, and she'd put her, like she had some coins, like pocket money, put her little coins in there, and like a cuddly toy would go in there as well, and she thought it was the best thing in the world, her first little bag.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Had a little unicorn on it.
Milestones.
Yeah, now she's nearly 12, and she sold her dolls last year. It broke my heart.
Oh, really?
Broke my heart.
Oh.
She's all dressing tables and, you know.
Gone.
Wants makeup and, yeah.
You're into a new phase.
Into a new phase. Anyway, 40% of this is gone, and you're going to get the A Touch of Velvet in the black, super duper soft. That's half price. The bundle in total, you're getting £22.50 off, $30.95. It's under a tenner. It's under $14, and that's not even the price. It's 15% less than that you're seeing on the screen. Now, if you are like Leanne and you need an essentials bag, then with everything, this is probably more like it.
That's perfect.
This is your tablet in there, this is your face in there, this is your spare pair of shoes and your umbrella and your kitchen sink in this one. And again, all the dies that you need to be able to create this with all the instructions and that beautiful red Touch of Velvet fabric. Again, that's half price within the bundle. That's why a £40, $52 deal comes down to just £12.38 or $16.36, and it's lower than that, obviously 15% off that price tag as well, because you're getting that extra discount with the spin the wheel. Isn't it funny as well? Sorry, I know I'm taking ages over this. Isn't it funny, like how ladies tend to have a lot of bags for every occasion?
Yes.
Like blokes just tend to have one, don't they?
Yeah, my husband's got one man bag.
Same here, one man bag.
One man bag. It's
That's
a
it.
crossbody leather one, and it's got a pocket for everything he needs.
Yeah.
Does everything he wants, and he never varies from that. I must have an excess of 50 handbags.
15?
50.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you keep them?
Because on the top shelf of my wardrobe in dust bags.
George is saying like his partner has like tons, but I suppose more so for ladies again. These are accessories to your costume, your outfits, aren't they?
Costumes? To our costumes, Ben? Do you mean to our lovingly curated outfits?
Sorry,
for the appropriate occasion? Costumes, Ben? Costumes?
Outfits!
Outfits! Lovingly curated outfits for appropriate occasions, Ben. Oh, I'm sticking up for all the women. Costumes?
No, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Outfits. I'm sorry, I'm too much of a lovey darling because in the theatre, darling, we wear costumes. Right, I'm going to put that one away now. How much of that one gone, Johnny? A third? Third of the stock gone. By the way, just to say also, if you're thinking, third, that's plenty of stock left. I'm talking a third off, not a huge stock. If you think we've got thousands of these, we literally don't. And last but by no means least, but I think I think my favourite colour. Do you know what? Normally I think I'd maybe go for like the red or the teal, but I really like this this colour of pink, this magenta. It's absolutely beautiful, and that comes half price within the deal for your bowling bag. And I can tell you now that this one is limited stock. There's green on the screen, which means
it soon won't be seen.
It's going to disappear. Less than 10% of the stock remaining. Not surprised that one is going. Again, what would this bag be for if you were?
So that bag for me would be day shopping bag.
Okay.
It's when I don't need all the work paraphernalia like we've just discussed. So I'm just popping out for the day. I'm going shopping. I've got my purse. I've got a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Might have my tube pass. You know, just things that I need, maybe shopping list, my phone, charger or battery pack, just in case, because you don't want to be left, you know, and my keys.
Okay.
That would be me, and my foldable shopper bag, so that when I get my shopping, I've got somewhere to put it. Yeah.
And crazy to think that the 3 dies in there is going to give you all of the elements that you need, all of your pieces, all your fabric pieces cut to the specific size to create that amazing bag, and you get that half price included.
And can I just say, your velvet, if you don't want to make a bag out of velvet and you want to get some of the quilting products that we've got, that velvet for the backing of a quilt is fabulous. Soft touch, especially if you're making it for a little person, or a really warm one to keep you warm on cool nights. If you want to sit and do that with the edge of the quilt on your face when you're sitting. As a quilt backing, it's incredible.
Like for one of, you know, do you ever have like, or do you have like sofa throws that you have
Yes.
that you put on over on a cold night?
Yeah.
That'd be
As
perfect.
a backing on your quilt, it's absolutely lovely.
£12, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Sorry, that's a bit weird. £12.38 or $16.36, and limited stock. Few quick comments coming through. Do you want a few cocktails here?
Yeah.
Rhonda says, Ben, would you like me to send in a picture of my finished Softcraft pillow? Yes, we would. That was from last week, a week ago today. Send it in, please. Philip says, my mate used to love snakebite.
Oh, snake! Oh, that's back in the day. Snake! That's not a cocktail.
No.
That's rocket fuel.
Cider,
that's a half
lager,
a
and
lager
blackcurrant.
and a half a cider.
And blackcurrant.
Some black. No, that's diesel.
Oh.
So snakebite is, and I know this because I was a barmaid in a rugby club for years. Snakebite is a half a cider and a half a lager in the same glass. Diesel, half a cider, half a lager, and blackcurrant.
Sorry, this next one, Kirsty D says, my favourite cocktail at the moment is called Purple Clouds.
Ooh.
It's gin, violet liqueur, dark cherry syrup, and apparently it tastes like Parma violets. I couldn't think of anything worse.
No, I was okay till you said violet syrup. I'm okay with the gin and the black cherry, actually. Maybe a bit of soda water, but the violet syrup. And I like the Parma violet sweet. I don't like it in a drink. But each to their own.
Well, that's it. You know, the world would be a very boring place if we all like the same thing.
Poison is another man's, whatever they're saying is, I can't remember. Nectar, pleasure, whatever.
A couple more. Stephanie says, you look great modelling the bags this morning, Ben. I especially like the satchel for you. Stephanie also, so by the by, I'm not making this up. I didn't want to mention it, but now you've joined in. Today's actually National Stephanie Day as well. No word of a lie.
Oh, I've got a Stephanie in my team at work. I wished I'd known that. We need to send her a message. National Stephanie Day.
Yeah.
She does all the product development, you know, she's the Softcraft product developer.
She's been up and down.
We should get her in here just
so
we could get. I don't know if she'd love that.
No.
Let's text her and have National Stephanie Day. Stephanie, who's responsible for all of your Softcraft product, get her in so you can see what she looks like.
We'll try and do that. I don't think she will because, we'll see. And
We'll
anyway, and Michelle says, one more on the cocktail, says, I heard the word cocktail, I had to jump on quickly. Try an amaretto freeze, vanilla ice cream, and a good amount of amaretto.
Ooh, that sounds excellent.
Keep those coming, please. National Cocktail Day today, also National Stephanie Day. Happy National Stephanie Day to all those Stephanies out there. Have a cocktail. Right, shall we have a look at one of the biggest discounted items on the show? These quilting pattern guides, where we bundled together not one, not two, not three, but 13 different pattern guides. What are we using these for, Leanne?
These are for after you've done your patchworking and you're ready to do your quilting, and it gives you lots of very unique different quilted patterns. Now, what I'm about to show you, you have got £236.87 worth of value, or $321.35 worth of value in this bundle that I'm about to show you. To be getting all of that value for a platinum price, £36 or $48, plus an extra 15% off, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, let me show you the pattern guides. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. And let me just explain here to you as well. Look, this pattern guide will do these 4 patterns. So one pattern guide, 4 different patterns. So 13 times, they do different ones. I'm going to have to add them all up for you. Johnny, 31, I'm going to tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4, please. It's 32. Plus, because look, I'm just going to show you these all first. So these are all the different guides, and each one of them does 4 different patterns. I'm going to show you the patterns in a second, where you go around with a free motion foot and create beautiful quilted designs.
Yeah.
Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30. So 6 5s are 30. Plus, what was it, 32?
62.
62 different quilted patterns you can create with this set of quilting pattern guides, which is absolutely phenomenal. You take your free motion quilting foot, you put it in the channel, you follow it along, rotate the design, keep repeating it, and you create these patterns effortlessly. Now, See the value there in all of that product you're
That's
getting.
incredible.
And you're getting 13 with all of those different quilting patterns, 62 different quilted designs you can create. Let me show you what that looks like when they're quilted,
Oh, yes.
because this is where you start to see how really fabulous these are. So all of these different patterns, this could be on 12-inch quilt blocks that you want to create. This could be in the centre of a cushion. It could be along the centre of a table runner. Could be a placemat. Could be a pyjama quilt, a pyjama case for a little one. It could be a lap quilt. It could be a big double-sized bed. It could be anything at all you want where you're putting a quilted pattern on. It could just be on a tote bag. And I'm just going through on all of these swatches on these 12-inch blocks to show you the variety of different quilted patterns and placements you can create with that full set of quilting pattern guides.
Yeah.
And the simple thing is, Ben, you use it with a free motion foot.
Yes.
And you attach the free motion foot. Most sewing machines these days come with free motion feet. You attach it and then follow the guide on the template that we've given you, and you can create all of these and create them effortlessly on your quilted projects. Now, there's loads more. I'm not going to keep you there bored going through every single one of them. That whole pile, that's all of the different quilted patterns you can make. There's only one of all of the 62 there, and you can make all of those different patterns. Imagine that. When you start to use it on your projects, they really do start to look fabulous. Example, just in the centre of a cushion. Really lovely, just a square of plain fabric. Use a lovely contrasting thread, maybe one of your metallic threads or your variegated threads, something like that. Quilt yourself a pattern and you've got a beautiful cushion for at home. But you might have been spending a while doing some patchwork projects and you would just want to quilt it with a little bit of a different design. You can see around the outside here we've got those lovely self-coloured pieces which keep all of the different layers of fabric together and give you those beautiful patterns. And then we've done a centrepiece in the middle with that little floral which matches in with the applique design. So you can do that. You can go more all over if you want to. So this is a 8-inch square quilt that we've done, and in the centre of each square we've used one of those quilting guides and we've varied the pattern so you get that lovely kind of crisscross look with it. You can do that too, and you can do it in the same colour thread or in a contrast thread. Here's a table runner where we've used the quilting pattern guides to form a major part of the design on there, as well as running around the outside of applique shapes. Here's a one where we've just done the beautiful kind of circular look where it can be more subtle. And the joy of this is that, you know, you've got the subtle patterns in there, but you've also got the really complex patterns too. So you can decide which you want to use. I've got one final example that I'd like to show you because I absolutely adore. It's one of my favourite samples of all time that we've done here with a soft craft. And you can see here you've got a beautiful quilt, but look at all of the subtle quilting design that you've got all around the edge of the border there and on all of the shapes. And that's really what quilting's about. It's about subtle textural pattern that holds all of the layers of your quilt together. Doesn't overwhelm the patchwork piece, but adds to it with the quilted pattern. And these guides will do that for you. It makes what you're achieving at home look like you've patchworked and then sent to a professional quilter and paid upwards of £200 to have your patchwork piece professionally quilted, when actually you can do it at home yourself. And if you think about that, if you have lovingly patchworked something and you would normally send your quilt out to have it professionally quilted, I know a lot of patchworkers do, you're going to get that whole set of guides for a fraction of what you'd pay for one quilt to be professionally quilted. You can do it at home and have the pleasure of knowing that every single piece of the thing that you've made, you've done yourself.
Stephanie just said, what an amazing bargain. She says, look at the price for those guides online. She said, I would buy, but accumulated them over the 3 years and probably paid 3 times the price. Well, you can see the saving that you're making is astronomical, isn't it? And again, that's not even the price you're paying there today, because you're getting another 15% off the price of your Club Inspire price. So if you're platinum, at 15% off £36 or Just before we move on, Patricia Ann chatting about California root beer, which is Galliano and Amaretto. Ooh. What's Galliano?
I'm not sure, but I will try it.
Tracy says, I think Ben should get a written warning for calling ladies' outfits costumes. Disgraceful.
Leave that with me.
Did I get a verbal first, though, if it's my first?
It depends on the severity of the crime.
Ah.
Yeah, depends on the severity. I mean, you know, just a little faux pas might be verbal.
Yeah.
Gross misconduct, written straight in.
If I'm not here at 6 o'clock, you'll know the reason why. Anne says, I don't do alcoholic beverages, but I do love a good shrimp cocktail. That's like prawn cocktail, right?
Yes.
I like a prawn cocktail.
I like a prawn cocktail. 1970 style with brown bread and butter on the side.
Yes, and a wedge of lemon.
And a wedge of lemon, and if you're really posh, a big prawn hanging off the side. In a shell.
Yes, with the big prawn with the eyes on.
Yeah.
You have to de-shell. That is brilliant. On Mothering Sunday last week, I cooked. It was all fish. It was a fish pie, but I did prawn cocktail as a starter.
Lovely.
Yeah. So easy to make the sauce, isn't it?
Yeah, very easy. Tomato sauce and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Bit of Worcester sauce.
A little bit of paprika.
Paprika on the Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tomato
good.
ketchup, mayonnaise, Worcester sauce, a little bit of Tabasco if you want a bit of extra spice.
Yeah.
Some paprika.
And Laura Sivers is saying, I wish I could remember the 5 alcohols in my fave, which is a mudslide, but it's definitely Kahlua.
Kahlua, that's a coffee liqueur.
Yeah, creme de cacao.
Chocolate liqueur.
Baileys.
We all know what that is. Whiskey cream.
And amaretto.
Almond liqueur.
Then you add heavy cream and shake.
Good grief.
If done right, it should taste like chocolate milk. You shouldn't be able to taste the alcohol.
That, in Johnny's words, that would put you to bed. That sounds fabulous, doesn't it? It sounds like a dessert. I think what I would have to do with that, if I was going out for a meal, is forego dessert and have that.
Yeah, instead. Yeah.
Because it sounds like dessert. It sounds delicious.
Laura, I think that's a winner so far, as far as I'm concerned. The mystery bag is awesome, says Mocraft. That's about to disappear, by the way. And just to thank you before we move on from Anne, who says, Leanne, I ordered those pins earlier because your magnetic demo was so good. I also grabbed the builder block curves. Thank you, Leanne, for encouraging me to get out my sewing machine, says Anne. So there you go.
Anne, you're very welcome. And please share with us what you make. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, by the way, if you've missed those deals, the magnetic demo, we'll do that again in a minute on those pins. Some fabulous picks that Leanne has brought to us just coming up in a few moments' time. Let me show you this deal as well, which I think is my favourite on the show, the Multicraft applique dies. It's a 5... I'm not going to live that one down either, am I? It's a 5-piece collection where you've got all of these different characters, not just Christmassy, but you've got some amazing farmyard animals too. And these sets are just brilliant. Whether you are making them to create little Christmas decorative bits and pieces, and as we were chatting about earlier on, do you know what? As simple as, even if you're not much of a sewer, not much of a soft crafter, all you need here is just to be cutting out the different shapes in your felt, which Leanne will show you a great deal in just a few moments' time, and sticking them on with your glues. It's really, really simple to do. Some more little decorations here where, a little bit of wadding has just been added, but such a really cute way to make decorations. Really cute way as well, and I'll show you in just a few moments' time, to make beautiful quilts or little play mats for the kids to have, when they're younger. And this is such a great set to go for, as we chatted about earlier on. If you loved fuzzy felt as a kid and you want to be able to share the love of that amazing thing that we guys used to have, then this is the way to be able to do it for your kids and your grandkids as well. Pick up the felt, which Leanne will show you shortly, cut out all the different shapes, and the kids can have the best time, whether it be like a little party or a little party favours within like a little party bag that you've done. These will be great. And you've got all the characters. This one here is the Nativity. The actual name of it is Nativity characters. There we go. I did get it right. And you can see all the dies that you've got. You've got your big stars there where you can layer up all your characters onto, and then all of the elements to create the kings, the shepherds, Mary and Joseph, baby Jesus. And again, you can create loads of other different characters there as well. What did you say Becky created with one of these the other day?
She created a fireman. Yes, a fireman.
Yeah.
I don't think he was meant to be a fireman. I think he was meant to be, but he looked like a fireman. So then we took the dies and looked at what everything else we could make, and actually worked out with the shapes you could make a lot of just everyday type characters. Do you see is he a shepherd or a wise man with a star in the middle of his...
There.
Yes.
A wise man, I think.
A wise man. Wise man with no beard and only that looked like a fireman. Without the...
Oh, without the
with
beard?
Just the head, without the headdress.
Right.
And
Oh,
just chop it off at the back. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
face, chop it off at the back, so it was hair. Yeah.
So...
And maybe it could be a fireman with a full beard, like Zizi. So
that's easy. I mean, yeah, firemen have beards.
Absolutely. The good thing about it is you can have them full beard, no beard, goatee beard, short beard. You can do whatever you like. It sounds like pirates, doesn't it?
Black beard.
Black beard. Blue beard. But you can
Red
take
beard.
the red beard. You can take the shapes and make whatever you would like to make.
Yes. So that's your nativity crew. Then you've got all of your Christmas characters. So this one is your festive animals. And again, we've provided all of the different shapes here. This is not an exhaustive list of the animals that you or the kids or the grandkids could create here, but we've got Christmas owl, Christmas, well, that's Rudolph, isn't it, obviously. You've got rabbit slash, I don't know why I laugh every time I do this. You've got rabbit slash mouse, bar you. Robin Redbreast and Pingu. And then in the Christmas characters, Festive Friends, this one's called, I'm just making names up for all of them now. You've got Father Christmas, of course, Merry Christmas. You've got your two little elves there, and then your gingerbread man and your snowman. But again, and as we were chatting about earlier on, a little bit of trimmage of the ears, just could be normal boy and girl, not necessarily elf boy and girl. But all of those characters are in the set. And if you're thinking that's great for the price, we then give you your farmyard animals as well. So here again, just an idea of some of the characters that you can create from this set. Dogs and cows, sheep, pig, horse. And in this set, again, dogs and cats. That could even be a little fox, that one. Rabbits, unicorns, frog, not toad.
Mouse, hamster.
Mouse, hamster, whatever you want. But the point is, you create what animal you want, have fun with these, let the kids have a go with these as well, get the felt that you're about to see. And let me just show you two of my favourites. I've showed you some of those decorations, but love this. Could be, as we discussed, like a table runner, but also love the idea of having that, you know, at the bottom of the kids' bed at Christmas time. Nice little festive way to decorate up the beds. You know, if you're getting new sheets for them and duvet covers and whatnot, that would look absolutely beautiful with some of the characters there. Love the festive oven gloves as well. I think those are an absolute touch, featuring, again, some of the main characters from the Nativity. And this is super cute. So this is just a beautiful quilt using some of the farmyard animals. And again, I love the idea of, you know, when the kids are really little, you get those mats, don't you, that they can sort of lay and play on little play mats. I think like something like this would be perfect with all of those characters on. And like Leann was saying, you could, what you could do is, you know, create little squeakers in some of these, couldn't you? Or
little squeakers, or attach them on little bits of ribbon and do the little crinkly fabric inside, make the little ornaments. You know, maybe stuff them with some wadding, or, you know, put the little shiny fabric on the background and make them all the little touchy-feely bits, so it becomes a true play mat. You can put it down now, Ben. They're being very cruel to you. They're not taking a shot.
They are. I'm just listening to my producer, which is not what I normally do. He's going, oh, he's able to hold it up because he goes to the gym. I could hold that up all day. 52, it's like when they do the world's strongest man, isn't it? And they have to hold it. Yeah. £52, $64 for all of those. So much creativity right there. And as I say, a great way to get the kids into the soft craft as well and just have some fun with you. You're not paying that price either. You can take another almost £8 off that. It comes down under £50, under $60. So do snap those up. Lots and lots of fun. Now, before we move on, Leann, you've got a sellout.
Woo! Do you know, I'm really happy. So, what's the words? Don't scream and shout because it's now
sold out.
I'm very sorry you missed out on it. You do, when we have these bags, you do have to be quick. But for all of you who did get it, you're going to absolutely love it. And so thank you for shopping the mystery bag.
Well done, everybody who got their hands on that. I think, Mo, you obviously got it because you said how awesome that was. And Vera, can you use a discount 50% off order? Yes, they're a one-use thing. It's one use per customer, but you can use it right throughout the day, up until midnight tonight, all right? There's like a limbo period where midnight comes wherever you are, and then the new deal will happen from 11 tomorrow when Lily spins the wheel. So this is the code. It's the same code that we had on Wednesday because it landed on 15% off on Wednesday. It's spring sale 15 at checkout. That's the code that you can use today up until midnight, and it's 15% off everything. It's not just on this show, it's site-wide on top of all of the discounts that you're going to be getting already. So it's a great thing to go for, but it will disappear at midnight and there'll be a new deal tomorrow. It might be 15% off again. We won't know until we spin the wheel. It could be double points, could be a free gift. But yeah, use it today. Spring sale 15. You are welcome, everybody. Now, things are disappearing, things are flying. We've got up on screen here something which you guys loved in the previous show. And Leanne, this is one of your top tools because you had a bit of a rummage, didn't you?
I went and had a little mooch about the warehouse, and with the thought in my mind, if I was starting out on a soft craft journey and wanting to try and do some things, what is it I would need?
Yeah.
And then also, if I'm someone who does soft craft and I've got a couple of tools that I've bought and I've been doing it a little while, what would I need to improve my experience? And they're the tools that I've gathered for you to have a little chat around. Oh, well, they're the tools and a treat.
Yes.
There's a treat. A tools and a treat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll have a talk about them. The first thing that I want to show you is the pin dish, the magnetic pin dish. This is absolutely phenomenal, it really is, and I highly recommend that anybody who's using any pins gets themselves a magnetic pin dish, because I'm going to invert this fully, Ben.
Right, okay.
This is a whole dish of loose pins, look, loose.
Yeah.
So they're not held in there anyway, they're not woven there or cable tied in there anyway.
Okay.
Whole dish of pins, and I'm going to invert it fully.
Uh-oh. Whoa!
And that's because you've got that magnetic dish, and they don't come off, Ben, unless you really, really whack it about. Whack it about. So you've got that lovely magnetic pin dish there, which holds onto them. Now, these are great. When I'm sewing at home, if you're sewing and you've got your material going through the machine, you should take your pins out before you go over them. You shouldn't really, the advice is not to sew over your pins, to take them out. I normally find that I have to stop and start when I'm doing that, because I either do that and I have to stick one in my mouth, not safe. Don't you ever do that at home? I'll try and find something to stick it in as I'm going, or I'll fling it on the desk and hope I'll get it later, or I've stuck them in my clothing before, also not safe. So it's great to have a magnetic pin dish, because when you're taking them out and you're sewing, you can just throw the pins at the dish, and because it's magnetic, they go in place, because that magnet magnetizes all of those other pins. So even though it's going on the top, it holds it all in place so that those pins aren't falling away and keeps them nice and safe. It's also great, Ben, I'm just going to take all of these off. I drop pins constantly. Let's say you've dropped 2 or 3 pins on the floor, and you're a bit worried about the dog getting one in his paw, or the kids are coming to visit, or you're just walking around with no slippers on. I've stood on pins before, it isn't comfortable, and you can't see where they are on the carpet. You can take your magnetic dish, run it across the carpet, find the pins that you've dropped, they'll stick to the dish. So it's great for that as well. And also fantastic, really, just for anything you need to do. If you have dropped them, or you do just want to collect them all on there, or you just want to keep them safe. In fact, if you're cleaning, dusting, who cleans and dusts? Not me when I'm crafting, but you know what I mean. And you knock the pin dish off, then all of those pins are going to be in place. But you don't have to pick them all up. You can just go and collect them.
Well, I loved your little idea earlier. Like, if you have lost a pin, and if it's gone, like if you've got like quite a deep pile carpet and you can't see it, this is a great way just to run it over the carpet and find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that one there. So, I mean, I could already have pins on there, actually. I don't even need to empty the pin dish to do it. I can just go around, find the pin that I lost, and there it is on my pin dish. So, one pin lost, finding the pin, it's back on the dish. And if I spill them all, I can go around and get the majority of them. And then, of course, the bottom is magnetic as well, actually, Ben. So I can pick up any lost ones and then pop it on there. So if I don't want to, you know, if I've picked up most of my pins, let's show you again. Picked up most of my pins because I've dropped them on the floor and I'm just taking my pin dish and picking them up.
Yeah.
But there's a couple left behind, and when I do this, they're just dragging around with each other and leaving them there. Just use the bottom of your dish.
Nice.
Picks them up, take them off the bottom of your dish, pop them on the top, and
Makes
you're
it
done.
very easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is an absolutely incredible tool for soft crafting, I have to say. Now, the next thing that I think would be exciting for you to have a look at, let's go with the treat. We're going to go with our vinyl roll.
Oh, yes.
This is a definite treat, and you're getting 50 by 60 centimetres or 19.7 inches by 23.6 inches on this roll. This is a beautiful quality vinyl, which is very sewable, and this is great for putting clear pockets in your soft craft projects, for making anything that you want to see through, anything that you want to make cleanable or wipeable. Great for making things for a baby.
Yes.
That need to be wipeable. Great for makeup bags, great for sewing a travel bag for your toiletries when you're flying. That's see-through, but hopefully you can see there, just as we flash it to you, that lovely encapsulated glitter that's inside. So it's got a lovely little iridescent holographic sparkle in there. It's subtle, so it doesn't overwhelm, but it gives a little bit of extra pop and pizzazz to any of the projects that you want to make with it. And you get, Ben, a goodly piece.
Yes.
A nice size.
Yeah.
And the quality of that, please don't compare to, you know, bits of vinyl like you might get on auction sites and what have you, because this is sourced to be of premium quality, and we have tested that it sews beautifully smoothly. What you will need to do if you're sewing it is treat it as you would an oilcloth fabric, and either have a piece of tissue paper over the top or use a non-stick Teflon foot, which we do have in our sewing machine feet box. If you're interested in that, and if you've got your 15% off, you could have a look on the website. So that's your glitter vinyl. That's the treat I had lined up for you. An essential, if you're getting the dies that you were just showing, Ben, with all of those characters, is your felt bundle. Great price on the felt bundle today, you know, for platinum price of $10.23 or $14.05 is fabulous, because you're getting 17 different sheets in here in all of those fabulous colours, and each of these sheets is 24 centimetres by 22 centimetres, which is approximately 8 by 8 inches.
Okay.
So really lovely colours, excellent soft quality, great for sewing and for holding structure when you're doing decorations with those dies that you had earlier.
Perfect.
So that's the felt. Fabric stabiliser is the thing you didn't know you needed till you got it. It really is fabulous. If you're starting on your journey for a plique or holding a more lightweight, floaty fabric still while you're sewing, fabric stabiliser is for you. If you've tried to sew a chiffon or a satin or something like that, it's so floaty and movable, it's hard to keep a hold of it. The fabric stabiliser will give a stiffness to your fabrics, but as soon as you wash it or dampen it, disappears completely.
It works on most fabrics, is it?
Works on most fabrics, absolutely. I wouldn't use it on a silk because the silk will watermark. But fabrics that don't watermark, you're no problem at all. So on your quilting cottons, on your felts, on anything like that, anything that is absorbent and porous, you can use this, and it'll give a stiffness, which means it's very easy to cut, especially with dies, or with scissors, and it keeps it nice and firm so it's not moving and waving all around. Finish the sewing project, give it a little wash, and it's completely gone. Fabulous. The next thing I think you need, be you a brand new or a seasoned quilter, fabricer, soft crafter, is our rotary tool. And the reason I say this is, at the minute you can buy rotary tools that are left-handed, rotary tools that are right-handed, and if you can't find a left-handed one, if you are left-handed, you'll struggle with a right-handed one and try to make it work, and it's hard, especially going around curves and going up against a ruler edge to get nice straight strips. We know you manage it, but it is difficult, and it can be dangerous because you're often having to reach across the blade. So we have made our rotary trimmer changeable between left and right-handed, and we've built in a number of safety features for you. So the first safety feature we've got is this lock button. It means when you press the handle, I'm pressing here, that blade does not engage. It means that the blade is kept away nice and safe, no fingers can touch it, you can't cut yourself by touching up against that because the blade is away. And if you want to use the blade and engage it, you can pop out the safety catch and then you can push the handle and it engages the blade. I certainly won't be touching it at this point because it would be very, very sharp. So you see you can use that safety mechanism, blades away, can't hurt yourself, blades engaged, can cut. Really great safety features on there. Did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say, it's great if you've got little ones running around.
Oh, if you've got little ones,
jump up on your
yes,
craft desk.
100%. And even if you've got a little one going in a drawer, when you've got that blade locked away, can't brush past it and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And you've got the lock on, so you can't accidentally engage the handle.
Fine.
Really good, safe for that. Some rotary trimmers, I've got them, the blade is constantly exposed.
Seriously?
Yeah, the blade is constantly exposed and you just pick it up and put it away. And, I mean, I've got them in a very high place because I wouldn't want Ada to be anywhere near that when she comes to visit. But they can be. So we've built that safety feature in for you. We've built a nice ergonomic grip.
Yep.
So if you do have dexterity issues and you can't be gripping very tiny small things anymore, this has got a nice comfortable handle with spaces for your fingers. So it's a lovely, confident, positive grip you've got on that, so you can cut with confidence and not feel like the rotary trimmer is going to slip out of your hand. Then, of course, if you are left or right-handed, you just unscrew this screw, take off the blade, pop it on the opposite side by unscrewing that, and your rotary trimmer is changed from a right-handed to a left-handed trimmer.
So simple, but genius.
It really is fantastic, and we give you a set of replacement blades. It is the only rotary trimmer I use now.
Wow.
Honestly, and I've had some pretty expensive rotary trimmers in my past, and I don't use them anymore. I use this because I feel the most confident in my cutting, and I don't feel worried that I'm going to accidentally hurt myself when I'm using it, because as soon as you release the handle, the blade goes up. You don't have to ask the blade to go up. It automatically retracts, which means if you drop it and then you go to get it, the blade's already retracted. You're not going to cut your hand. So many times when I've been cutting with constantly open rotary trimmers and I'm holding the ruler and doing the cutting, I've accidentally, when I've picked the trimmer away, touched my hand with the blade, and all it takes is a touch and you get quite a nasty cut.
Yeah.
So you're saved from a lot of those mishaps by having the rotary trimmer as we've designed it.
And that again is super inexpensive today, isn't it? For all those features that have been thought about for that rotary cutter, you're not even paying that price if you're platinum. Take another 15% off that, and that price comes down even further for you. Loads more great picks. Have you got the? Is it the snap toolkit?
Yes,
yeah.
I've got the snap toolkits, and we've got them in bronze and silver. So I'll just show you inside the bronze one. You're just going to choose your colour, bronze or silver. It's entirely up to you. Content's exactly the same. 169 pieces in each of these sets. It's a really comprehensive kit. You've got this fabulous little storage box where you can open the lid and everything is contained inside for you. You get the tools to punch the holes for your snaps to go through. You get the tools to set your snaps. You get the positioner to hold it in place as you do it. That's double-sided. One's to do the hole, the other side is to hold the snap still. And then you get 4 different sizes of all of the different snaps that you could possibly need. And these are great for press-studding bags, press-studding clothes, replacing them on denim shirts.
And they'll go through a lot. Well, you just said it because you mentioned earlier fixing your husband's jeans. So it will go through like quite thick fabric.
It'll go through thick fabric. I mean, several layers of denim. You just need to make sure you put your hole through, and then you can snap right through it. It's no problem at all, Ben. Simon's work trousers, you know, his jeans that he's wearing in the garage when he's doing the bike or when he's in the garden. You know, if they've lost a button, I just snap something on it. I've also made a panel on the back of one of my I've got like a pantry, big pantry door in the kitchen, and on the back of that I've done a panel that has lots of these studs on, and then I've got things that I press onto it. So I've got my oven gloves, I've got a bag to hold all of my plastic carrier bags go in there, I've got a thing for keys, I've got a thing for like pastry cutters, things that just take up space that I didn't want in my drawer and I wanted just hanging out the way. I made a whole panel with loads of press studs and I just keep everything organised out the way. There are so many different uses you're going to find for these, Ben, in terms of, you know, making functional pieces when you're doing your sewing projects, but just for uses around the home and repair jobs. And you've got that in bronze or silver, and you've got a really great saving there today, especially with your 15% extra.
You have, yeah. Brass or silver, details of the silver on the screen. It's the same price for whichever ones you want to go for. And again, that $16.99, $19 is less another 15% because you're getting that right across the web, right across all the deals on the shows. And of course, that will be applicable for our masterclass this evening as well. Next up, something that you described as, well, a must-have tool for everyone, this folding ruler, Leanne.
Absolutely, it is incredible. So it's a folding ruler, it's a square ruler that will allow you to do really precise squares, half and quarter triangles. We've got all of the different measurements on there for you. You've got a grid to follow. You've got your metric and imperial all around the outside. The great thing about this is you no longer need to buy now a separate triangular ruler because this ruler folds in half and it's what allows you to do those half triangles and quarter triangles. It really is fantastic. It's a superb quality. We've done a different colour on the pink and on the white, so you can see where it is going in half. You've got your different grids in different colours so that you can use them on light and dark. I'm just going to put it there so you can see. There you've got them in navy and pink, so you can use them on lighter and darker fabrics. You've got all of your seam allowances and your extra cutting guides with the dotted lines there. And most importantly, we include all of the instructions on the back on how to use it as a square, a half or quarter triangle ruler and get the best, most precise cuts out of it. Works an absolute treat with your rotary trimmer.
£20.39, $23.76 for that. Still going, I think there's still two more items to show you. Oh, this next one is Leanne's Magic Mat.
I call it my magic mat. It's not called a magic mat. It's called
no,
Magic Mat. Magic mat.
Yeah.
Different content,
Yeah.
not Magic Mike, no.
That's another show completely.
It is the Shape Creator, the Junior Shape Creator. And I do not over-egg the pudding, Ben, when I say that this mat is the one tool that revolutionised my soft craft experience.
Why?
Because it's got all of these genius uses. Now, I've took it out because I wanted to show you that this has got a film on. I'm going to take the film off because I want, for those of you who are looking and thinking, but why, Leanne? I'm just going to take this protective film off. Tracy's going to be so cross with me. Not only have I took it out of the packet, I'm taking the protective film off. Right, so you're going to take your protective film off. Oh. I'll just take half.
Yeah.
And then what you've got is these spaces. So you can see I can put my finger through that space. I'm going to put something white behind so you can see. There we go. So I could put my finger through that space there. That is a hole.
Yeah.
And then it has got these lines here are cut through. So see, if I really bend that, I can get my fingers through it. If I do it from behind, you'll see I can bring my fingers through there.
Yeah.
So what you do is you start with your rotary trimmer and one of these diamonds, and then the blade of your rotary trimmer cuts down inside that groove and it keeps the blade perfectly straight, which means for cutting your strips, for cutting on the diagonals, for cutting sashing, borders, for cutting squares. It is genius for keeping your blade from going on the wander.
I see.
Because even when you're cutting, I'm just going to bring my ruler back in for a second and I'll just show you with my trimmer. I'm not cutting any fabric, but I'll explain to you what I mean. When you're cutting, see, now, can I just show...
Great demonstration.
That was a demonstration that I didn't plan. I dropped the trimmer and I caught it in my hand with the blade.
Any other rotary cutter, you could have been in trouble.
We would have been blue lights, please, off to the hospital. Because we've got all of that safety feature in there and the locking mechanism, I was completely safe.
Brilliant demo.
That's why we built all of those features in, Ben. I didn't plan that demo. I genuinely dropped the rotary trimmer. Can you imagine? And just because we've got that safety feature in there and the blade's locked away, I was able to catch it by the blade and not hurt myself. So if there was ever a demonstration for why we've put those safety features in there, that was it.
Hey.
Now, when you are using your rotary trimmer against a ruler edge, and I'm just going to show you there, what you're doing is you're running the blade along the edge of your ruler to cut your fabric. That keeps it straight to this point.
Yeah.
What I struggle with is going off on a wander.
Yeah.
So I can still sometimes, because I sometimes struggle to keep it pushed against there, and so I'll go off on a little meander, especially if it's a long length or it's a thick amount of fabric. So if that's something you struggle with and you've not been able to use quilting rulers because of that, and sometimes when we're starting to struggle with our dexterity, that can become an issue. Certainly that is what my issue is. Then this takes all of that away because your blade is engaged in that space there and then runs down. If I do that, and if George can get the shot, can you see the blades come through?
So it's in a little track, isn't it, almost?
So it's in the track.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come out of the track. So you get beautiful, straight cut sashing, borders, strips, squares, whatever it is. And then on each of the corners, if you put a folded piece of fabric in that little piece that's, can you see there? If you put the corner of a piece of fabric and trace around there, you get perfect rounded edges cut on your fabric as well. So you can round off your corners and you get 4 different depths all the way around, depending on the size of the rounded corner that you'd like to create. Plus, you've got all of your angles on there as well. And all of the instructions that you need to be able to use it effectively on the back, as well as a massive amount of YouTube tutorials. This, if I was to ask you to buy one thing in this Softcraft Cartload and you're a soft crafter, I'd say get that, because you will absolutely find it to be a game changer, as I did. I really do guarantee you.
And again, you're not paying the full price, nowhere near it today. $25.99, $29.95, saving 15%. Let's assume you're platinum. That's down to that price, saving another 20%. Then save another 15% with that code, spring sale 15. You get another 15% off the platinum price. So we're talking crazy, crazy low prices for some of the best items that I think you will want if you're a soft crafter. We come around to the final item in Leann's picks, which tails me back to a question which came in earlier from Philip, who was just asking about this, the fabric cutter. Is the base, is it plastic or glass?
Plastic.
Plastic.
Absolutely, because it needs to be lightweight. When you're manhandling something of this size around, you definitely don't want it to be glass. Especially if you've had our glass mat at home as a paper crafter, you'll understand what I mean by that. So it's plastic.
Okay.
It's actually it's cutting ruler material, so that you cut against the edge of it. So it's a toughened, hardened. If you're buying a quilting ruler, it's quilting ruler material that you're using. It's an acrylic. All right. So this is our rotary cutter. Now, I own a rotary cutter that I had for a while, bought from another brand, and it was only 6 inches wide by 18 inches long. And when I was working on bigger projects, or when I needed to cut a big square of fabric, I used to get frustrated, especially if it was a 12-inch quilt block, where I'd have to measure 6 and measure 6 again, and then have that fabric hanging out the end. I never knew if it was quite accurate before I could cut it. There was a lot of trial and error and a little bit of wasted fabric while I was doing that.
Yes.
So when we decided we were going to do our own fabric rotary cutter like this, I was pretty adamant, i.e. unmovable, on the fact that it had to be a big base, so that you've got all of that space to do whatever you need, working up to a 12-inch block, or your big quilt backs with folded fabric. Because bear in mind, this can cut up to 6 layers. So if you think about a big piece of fabric folded into 6 at 15 inches, what's 6 15s, Ben?
6 15s is
60
90.
Inches? 90 inches. So it's a standard quilt backing, 90 inches. You can cut a straight edge on this with your folded fabric in one pass. And that is why having a 15.5 by 15 base like this is so incredibly important for your precision. You've got all of your angles on here as well, your measurements in metric and imperial. You've got your numbers in this really great little pale pink, so it works on light fabric and dark fabric for you. You've got a very smooth glide runner there for your blade. You press that down and push to engage the blade when you're cutting. The blade takes a standard 45mm rotary blade.
Right.
So when you need to replace your blade, any standard 45mm rotary blade that you can find will work in here, no problem at all. It's got a carry handle as well. It's everything you could possibly need in a fabric trimmer. Definitely don't buy one of those 6-inch wide ones when you can have a 15-inch wide one, because you'll get it, you'll be frustrated at what you can't cut and what you can't do, and then you'll want to buy a big one and you'll be upset that you wasted that money. That's what happened to me. So definitely go for something like this, because you're future-proofed. You're going to be able to do every project you possibly could imagine, from very small to very large, and very efficiently.
Amazing. A lot of people buying that today as well at that amazing price. £60, $90, 15% off. Less your 20 if you're Club Platinum, £40.79, $61.19, less another 15% because of today's result on the wheel. Just a few quick questions and we're going to give you time to check out those baskets. Matt, Debbie's asking, can you ask Leann, does the rotary cutter go through the diagonal lines as well as the straight lines?
No, you rotate your fabric across. You always cut on the straight lines, because if we cut the diagonal lines in there, you're going to end up with a bit of a mess and your rotary trim will go all over. So the diagonal lines, if you to angle your fabric and then still cut the straight line, but you get a diagonal cut. Example, bias binding.
Stephanie wants to know, is there a shelf life on the fabric stabiliser?
That's an excellent question, and it's the one I don't know the answer to. Oh. So, hang on, I'm going to get my glasses and have a look at the bottle.
Oh, sorry.
Because if there is one, it's going to tell you on here.
Yeah. Just having a little look. We could do some music.
So you've just got to allow it to dry for 30 minutes before you use it.
Yeah.
So the answer to that is no.
Marvellous. And Laura, Laura, I think you're one step away from buying that amazing vinyl that we showed you, the glittery vinyl, because earlier you were asking about whether there's enough there to cover your Vespa, and now you ask, I'm thinking, are you buying enough to cover your Vespa and then make a raincoat? Because she says, could one make a raincoat from that?
One could. One could make a child's you'd need a couple of pieces, obviously depending on the size of the child. But bear in mind, it's 50 by 60 in size, so you'll be able to work centimetres. You'll be able to work out what is kind of half a metre, so half a yard by half a yard, square, just over. So you need to work out how much you need. However, you could absolutely cut out pattern pieces and sew that together because it sews beautifully. All I will say is lengthen your stitch. Because with all vinyls and faux leathers, if you've got a tiny little stitch close together, you can make a perforation. So just lengthen your stitch a little bit, go up to maybe 3.5, and you'll be fine.
Marvellous. Stephanie just saying, wonderful, thank you, Leann and Ben. Hey, any questions? That's what we're here for. Do ask them. Any more comments you want to throw our way. And also, very interested to know what you've all got in your baskets today, because we're very busy. Who's shopping for what? Who's bought what? Let me know on Facebook and indeed on YouTube. We will take a break. Just to go to that break, we mentioned last Friday, when we were celebrating International Quilting Day, we had 2 days full of soft craft, and we had only the second ever soft craft along with our first ever guest on one of those, who was Rhonda, and she joined Becky. And whilst Becky used different fabrics to create her cushion cover, here's Rhonda's finished design, because we didn't quite get to see it in time, Rhonda, and that actually uses some of those Hawaiian applique dyes that we've got on the show. How
Rhonda, that is beautiful.
Do you know, the fabric as well on there, she used one of her husband's Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hawaiian shirt with Hawaiian dyes. I love that. It's beautiful, that, Rhonda.
Yeah, very, very nice indeed. And thank you, Rhonda. Finally got to see the finished project, which is amazing. As always, don't forget, if you do make any projects and you want us to share them with everybody else, you can send them in studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, or indeed just tag us on the socials. If you're on Facebook, for example, and you've made a project, maybe you did the craft along recently, you can tag us, just basically search for our names and add CC afterwards, and then we can see all of your amazing projects that you have made. Let us have a break though. I cannot believe the time that has absolutely flown over. We've had some fun, we've shown you some amazing deals, so it's now time to head to the checkouts, and we'll come back with a bit of a recap in about 3 or 4 minutes time.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. We see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Sarah C, for letting me have a look in your basket. You said I bought both the mystery bag, the bag templates, and the vinyl, and I've also bought the magnetic pin dish because Leanne told me to.
That's good. I'm pleased you were listening. Thank you.
And a question from Anne, that fabric cutter, will the fabric cutter cut leather?
Which fabric cutter?
That's a good question.
Are we talking about the rotary handheld cutter or the big 15-incher? I can answer that. They both will.
Ah, there you go. Job's a good one.
Single layer though, Ben. For the big 15-inch one.
I thought you said single ladies then.
All the single ladies.
All the single ladies.
I'm not her friend. We've talked about that before. I've fallen out with Beyonce. Can't talk about her again. I'm not friends with Beyonce. I used to really love her, but I don't anymore.
What's happened?
Well, she had a concert. I'm sure I've told you the story before. She had a concert locally. Came on 45 minutes late when she knows there's a curfew. So cut her whole playlist significantly, sang 30 seconds of some of the most, not even 30 seconds of some of the most iconic songs, and went early with no encore.
What do you mean sang 30? Well, like a...
So, for example, all the single ladies, she stood on the stage and she went, all the single ladies! And everybody went, oh, ready to go, oh, oh, oh. And that was it. It's not cool.
Good, that is it.
It's not cricket. So, from there, henceforth, we're no longer best friends.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Hey.
However, I was talking about a single layer of leather.
Oh, yes, that's exactly right.
That's how we got onto that story. So a single layer of leather for the big 15 by 15 and for the rotary trimmer. Anything more, and you might, you know, not be accurate or hurt yourself, and we don't want to do that. So yes to single layers.
But no to single ladies, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Lots of chat still about that vinyl as well. Our Rachel just getting excited, saying you could make dog raincoats with that as well. Why not?
Why not?
Always handy to have, particularly this time of the year when it's a little bit mucky and a little bit rainy outdoors. Right, okay, well, keep the comments coming through. Let me know what's in your shopping basket.
Imagine that for a child's bib with a nice soft cotton backing.
Oh, yes.
Wipe clean bib.
Oh, the wipe clean bib, yeah.
So much you could do.
God, I remember those. I just remember those days with the kids when they were like that. And I used to get frustrated when you'd get just the fabric ones, and then by the time they're eating their meal,
and it all soaks through. You've wasted your time. Yeah.
What you could do is just wrap the kids up in the vinyl in the first place,
yes,
and then,
exactly.
and then just unwrap them.
Edie has these genius things that they hadn't invented when Peter was little. I don't know about your kids, Ben, but my youngest granddaughter, Edie, has a bib which has arms.
Right.
So they've got like a painting smock, elasticated, wipe-proof arms, big bib, goes all the way around the back, ties, so she's covered fully. Arms the lot.
What, she's got like gloves for hands?
Not gloves.
Ah.
Her hands are out because she needs to be able to pick up her food and eat it.
That's very clever though.
But from wrist to neck to knee, covered.
You need to, don't you? Because you know what kids are like. And Johnny's just got his kids are like that now, and they're 9 and 6. Do you know one of the best things that I always remember? Like, you used to love this when so you know when the kids just before they can sort of like hold their own weight up, and they normally have to sort of prop them up, don't you? We used to have this thing. I don't know if it's still around, called a bumbo.
Yes.
And just brilliant.
They're
where
genius.
You just get your kids and you just wedge them in this thing, and they would
big solid foam.
Yeah.
And they just sit there.
Just sit there.
And it holds them up.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, you know, I'd be there, I don't know, if I was eating me lunch or something at the table, I'd have like George or Daisy just on the table in front of me, sat in the bummer, and it was just the best thing.
They can have a full conversation and they're not going to roll over and hurt themselves. Yeah, we had for Ada and Edie. Brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I feel
those
so
were the
old
days.
to talk about the kids.
Yeah, those were the days. Wait till you're a granddad, Ben.
That won't be long, will it? I mean, it will.
Well, let's hope it's long.
Let's hope it's long, but what I mean is...
Let's hope it's at least 10 years.
Yeah, but what I mean is, it will be... Well,
but that'll go quick.
Yeah, it will, because you know, they're 15 and, well, Daisy's 12 this year, and where's that time gone?
Yeah.
It's sad. Time goes too quickly. Make the most of it.
But it is a different relationship you have with your grandchildren.
Oh, yes, you and Jan, I think, specifically talk about that, how you just, and Debbie, love the grandkids.
So much.
Not more, but...
Not more, but differently, but they have my whole heart, because I don't have to do any discipline. Or be responsible for bringing them up as responsible human beings. That's their mum and dad's responsibility, not mine. So it's a completely different ball game, Ben.
I'm going to be an absolute pushover as a granddad.
My husband is. He's ridiculous as a granddad. Literally, he was a firm. You could ask Peter. He was a firm father with very solid and firm rules and guidance for life when he was bringing up his son, and he would not deter from them. Those were the rules and guidance. He was quite a firm father, kind, did all sorts of fun stuff together, but firm. He is a wimp with our granddaughters. A true wimp. Literally, Ada out in the shops, Dad, please. Yep, no problem. Here we go. Off to the checkout. You can have all of those fairy costumes, no problem at all. You've got 27 at home. You can have another 3. Honestly, push him. He's a wimp.
Oh dear, that is definitely 100% going to be me. 100%. Quick one, I'm going to show you these dies in a second. Suzanne Dawn just says, I've just saved a fortune on stamps and dies. Embellishments, pop-up box base, 8-inch album spine. This is all in the spring sale. Fabric cutter. The applique dies collection. Boom, that makes me happy. Such a saving with the discounts. Yeah, already the discounts, Suzanne, like you said. And then the 15% on top. Happy days, you say. That is a full shopping cart, and I bet you saved an absolute fortune there, so well done. If you like Rhonda's cushion cover that she made at the just before we went into the break there, that was done, or part of that was done with this next set, the Hawaiian applique dies 3-piece collection. And these are very clever, actually, because you've got the one die here, which is going to create this effect here, isn't it? And you're literally just folding your fabric, well, 4 ways, aren't you? However you want to use it. So you've got 3 different designs here. Again, multimedia dies, so you're going to be cutting through a whole range of different fabrics. So you've got your pineapple, which is that one. It also, does anyone else think that? I know that is called pineapple. Does anyone else think sort of Scottish as well with that?
Thistles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very Scottish. Imagine like Craig wearing a shirt with that on, for example.
We should get him to do that. Applique on the back, in a foil fabric on the back of a shirt.
Oh, that would look lovely.
He'd be living his best life with that.
He would be living his best life. So that's your pineapple / thistle. You've then also got, I haven't got an example for this one, but again, same sort of way that you're going to use this is your tea leaf. And you get all of the instructions once again on the back is how you need to be able to create that beautiful shape. And then lastly in the set is this hibiscus, and I can show you this again on just this little table runner or sort of bed runner you've got. Again, how beautiful is that? Choose your fabric, and it's really, really simple to be able to create that design in a multitude of different materials, because as we said, these are multimedia dies. And again, the deal on this is sensational. I've seen a few of you just saying in the comments that you've picked this collection up. Normally they're, £30 a die, aren't they? $89.97, $104.85. It's a £64.97, $74.85 saving today. Less your Club Inspire discount, less that 15%. So the £20 becomes £17. The £24 becomes $20.40. So again, a great way to be able to pick those up. And I know those have featured a few times on softer side shows, but I've got to tell you, best ever price I've personally seen those at. So if you've waited for the day where you're getting them for a steal, today is that day. If you have just joined us as well, masterclass coming later on this evening from 6. Lily's going to be in for that. Going to be featuring the Wisteria collection. We've got the Garden Gnomes coming up. I think we have a small selection as well of the Secret Garden set left, plus a whole host of other goodies for you too. And that is all on the way. And everything you're seeing on the shows today, and indeed on the website, you are getting a 15% extra saving off, because that's where the wheel landed this morning. Now, across the website as well, you'll find our spring sale page. 70% off there, up to 80% off selected lines too, but also across the website, probably the best thing to do is hit the Shop the Show or Shop the Day button today. You'll find amazing deals on our builder blocks, and we've done some great deals on these recently. This is incredible. If you are someone perhaps who's looking to kind of build up your collection, these deals are for you. Or maybe you've never tried the builder blocks before and you want to give them a go, half price across the range. And this again is getting the word out about how great the builder blocks are, because Becky was talking last week, Leanne, that she went into like a local haberdashery and she was sort of saying about these, and the lady in the haberdashery just couldn't believe that there was a system out there like this that made life so much easier.
I think when you do find out about it, it's a little bit of a revelation. And I think there's a misconception sometimes, Ben, that they're for beginners.
Yeah.
So, people who've not cut fabric before, and that isn't true at all. These are for whether you've never made a quilt, whether you've made 3 quilts, whether you've made 300 quilts. It is for you, because what it does is make the cutting of the fabric quick and precise, and it takes any margin of error out of it. It means that you just have the joy of doing the piecing, and the piecing is an absolute breeze when the pieces are cut precisely. If the pieces are not cut precisely, trying to fudge and join and get beautiful matching seams and shapes that effortlessly dovetail together is difficult. But if your pieces are cut precisely, it's an absolute breeze. And what a builder block does for you is cut the precise pieces. So in every one of these sets, and I'm showing you my favourite design first, I do love Rob Peter to Pay Paul. I really do like this one. It is one of my favourite, because I love all of those orange peel curvatures, and then a little bit of a faux wedding ring look for me, and also a little bit Moroccan. I really do love it. So that's the main design you can see on the front. I'm just going to turn it round and show you. These are all of the dies that you get in this collection, and all of those dies you get in a 6, 8, 9 and 12 inch size.
Yeah.
So that you can make a 6, 8, 9 and 12 inch block in each of those designs that you can see on the back here. So we have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different designs that can be made from the dies in the box, and those 10 designs can be made in 4 different sizes. So you have got 40 block options in this one box. When you think of that, 40 block options for platinum price of $23.99 or $35.98, and your extra 15% off that, you can see the value in this. And these are the types of shapes that if you're an experienced quilter, you'll know that if you don't get this right, so much can go wrong.
Yeah.
And when you're cutting around templates, again, yes, a template makes it more simple, but you've still got to be great with a rotary trimmer, or with laying your fabric down, get it in the perfect position, not having a crease in there. So many things that you've got to consider. When you're using a die, you make sure your fabric's flat, put your die on top, whop it through your machine, you've got your perfect shapes, you sew it together, it works. It's eureka. And that's what's brilliant about our Build a Block systems. So that's your Rob Peter de Pay Paul. We've also got our Winding Ways, which is another really lovely set. I like the Winding Ways. You can see 4 different block options there. If I just turn it round, you can see all of the dies that you get, and then 10 patterns that you can make with the Winding Ways, and all 10 in the 4 sizes that we talked about before, so 40 different patterns in the Winding Ways. And then the last one we've got for you is the Bay Leaf, another great orange peel design, which I really like. I like the curved designs, and actually the curved designs are the most difficult designs to piece together if you haven't got a die set to cut those curves for you.
Yeah.
When you've got a die set to cut the curves, so they're at the exact curvature you need, it will go together like an absolute dream. They're the dies that you get. There are the 10 blocks that you can create. If you're making a sample quilt, you could do all 10 of those blocks, do them twice, you've got a lap quilt and it's a sample. Or you could use one style of block and then piece them all together and get an all over pattern for a quilt. So many different ways of using them, and I promise you, when you try to piece a quilt, when you've cut them with a builder block, you will have a very, very positive experience. So they're the big builder block sets that we've got for you. We've then got a whole host of other builder block designs, and this is working with some of our some of the most celebrated patchworkers in the patchwork industry. So the first sets I'm going to show you are from Jo Avery, and Jo is such a fabulously beautiful human being and an intelligently amazing quilter and crafter.
I want to say Jo came in and did a show with us along. Yeah.
She did came in and do some shows with us. Yes, she did when we launched the product.
Yeah.
I just drool over her Instagram feed. She is so talented. I wish I could have half of the talent she's got in her little finger injected into me. I really do. But actually, I can when I've got the blocks that she's created, because these are dies that Jo has created to make those patterns and projects you can see. And each one of these sets gives you the dies to make a small, a medium and a large project in that quilted pattern. So that's the first one we've got there for you, and that is our Eastham, I believe.
Yes.
Eastham. So that's Eastham. Then you've got from Jo the Compass Gem, and you can see you've got a small, medium and large project with that. Then we've got from Jo our windmill. And look, I love that bag. I love the windmill bag down in the bottom corner. I absolutely adore that. Sewing machine cover, I beg your pardon. Look at that, I thought it was a bag. I would have that as a bag.
Well, it could be a bag.
I would take that sewing machine cover and adapt that as a tote bag, because I really love it. But you can do that. They're your dies. And then having circular placemats, nightmare if you haven't got a die set to do that for you. So that's the windmill. Then now we're moving on to Karen Lewis. Karen also a really good friend of Joe's. They're good friends, known each other a long time, also very talented. And actually one of the first full-size quilts I ever made was with a Karen Lewis pattern. And I have to say, Karen has got a way of cutting shapes and assembling shapes in a way that makes a really complicated pattern come together easily without overwhelming you. And the die sets and the instructions that we've got here, you will see that, because that there looks like, whoa, that's a lot of colour. I promise you that will come together and you'll wonder however it happened, but you'll have magically done it just because Karen is so talented at doing all of that planning for you. So that is the geometric.
Okay.
And then this one from Karen is the Bejeweled Delights. Love that tote.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Fantastic. And then this final one from Karen is the Catherine Wheel. There we go.
By the way,
so all of those are for ridiculously $13.99.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, it's honestly, half price, $13.99 or $15.98, and plus take your extra 15% off that. It's fantastic. Final little set I've got for you, Ben.
Cute.
Is an essential set of little squares, little expansion pack for your builder block there. So you've got, I just need to get my glasses to read it out to you. You've got an expansion pack of squares, and you've got a 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5, and 4-inch square in there. And that's just great for cutting nice, precise squares to patchwork together and make really lovely heirloom quilts.
Lynn's just said, and this is great because like, we've got new people joining us all the time. She says, I never knew that you could quilt, etc. with the Gemini. I learn something new every day.
So you can patchwork with the Gemini. You can cut patchwork shapes out and piece them. And you can cut applique pieces out with a Gemini. You quilt on your sewing machine. And that's so if you're new, the difference between patchwork and quilting is you cut out pieces and join them together. That's patchworking. You can cut out your pieces with your Gemini. Quilting requires a sewing machine because that's where you put the pattern stitched through the patchwork.
And what do you think? Because Samantha's just saying, I don't think I'm ready to start making a quilt yet. But what would you, if you were just getting ready to start to do a first project, would it be something like a cushion cover would be a good place to start?
A cushion cover, a placemat. I did placemats. I did 3 placemats for me, my husband and son. And then I did a cushion cover. Then I did a table runner. Then I did a quilted tote bag. I did a sewing machine cover. And at that point, I was like, I'm going to try a lap quilt. And I just cut 5-inch squares, and I chain pieced 5-inch squares and put them all together because it was a good practice for me in terms of getting the joins and then putting 3 layers of fabric together, quilting through them, putting some binding on. So yes, start small and build up.
And a couple of other quick questions, just random questions. Stephanie says, Leanne, how do you find the time to do all of this?
I'm very rarely found sat still at home. I think that's the thing. I always have to be doing something. So even if I'm watching the TV, I'll be crocheting. If there's nothing that I want to watch on the TV, I'll go upstairs and I'll sew, or I'll be doing a bit of paper craft, or I'll be baking in the kitchen, or I'm just one of these people who can't sit and be idle.
You're a bit like my Laura, actually, because she'd always say, you know, even if she finished, because she's a dog walker, so even if she finishes at like 12 or, you know, 1 o'clock one afternoon, she still has to be doing, like she can never, and if I'm on a day off, I'm quite happy just to sit and watch TV in the afternoon for a few hours, but she has to be doing, she's a doing person.
I just potter.
Yeah, that's what she says.
I potter.
I just love to potter.
I love to potter.
Yeah, love to potter. And then she makes me feel bad then because
My husband says that. He'd be like, will you sit down? I'm like, no, I'm just pottering.
Yeah.
He's like, but I feel like I've got to get up and help. I'm like, don't get up. Fine, sit there. I'm absolutely fine. I'm just pottering. So yes, I potter with my projects, Ben.
And one other question from Lynn, who's our, I think, did you say you were a new viewer today, Lynn? I think you did. Is Leanne from up here, she says?
From up north.
Up here. So where are you from, Lynn? Let us know.
Up here, yeah, where are you from? Because if you're up here too, Lynn, I'd be interested. I am from up here. I am from Durham.
I'm not from up here, as you can probably tell, like. Let us know where you're from, Lynn. Rhonda says, I guess I do it big. My very first project was an entire queen-size quilt.
Whoa, that is called diving in at the deep end, Rhonda. I'm thrilled to hear it, though.
And Mary Patrick said, I ordered the expansion pack last week, along with many more goodies, and I'm excited for them to arrive. 3:45. This show has absolutely flown over, hasn't it? Hopefully you guys have been exactly the same. A couple of other deals just to show you as well. We've got our clamshells. Now, you've got 4 different size dies here. These go up from your 2.5 inch up to your 5.5 inch. And then to work alongside that, you've also got this pack here, which will work perfectly with your half size clamshells. So again, 1.5 inches up to 5.5 inches. These again, going to cut through multiple layers of fabric for you. They've also, of course, got built into them that 1/4 inch seam allowance just to make the whole thing nice and easy. And again, it gives you the precision and the accuracy and the speed that you would want as well. I think you were saying earlier on, Leanne, that clamshell is your favourite shape, is it?
My very favourite.
Why so?
I think I just like all of the all of the curves, and then when it's put together, it feels like those curves are overlapped.
Like here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel it looks very happy.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that I can use all of my little scraps of fabric and I don't have to make sure they coordinate. Doing a scrappy quilt where you're just using anything you've got, and you've got little ditzy flowers and stripes and dots and plains and solids. You can just whack them all together and it looks absolutely fabulous. I also feel it looks very authentic.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being in a Calamity Jane style wood shack.
Yes.
On a bed with some lovely white broderie anglais pillows and a little vase of flowers on the bedside table, and what's his name, Howard Keel, coming over the mountains singing to me. That's kind of what that conjures up for me, Ben.
Well, when
that's a little look into my mind. Are you scared?
I'm not really scared. I don't know. It's just, it must be a wonderful place to be.
Yeah, in my mind. I mean, I'm in it every day, Ben. It's sometimes a bit scary.
Yeah.
I feel it's very authentic, Ben. And I love, when it comes to patchworking and quilting, I love authenticity because I feel it's so steeped in history, isn't it? And I think it's lovely to be able to replicate that.
From clamshells to Calamity Jane.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. That was a...
You never know what you're going to get on this show, do you? £75, $80, not today. You're saving, well, it's a half-price deal, isn't it, really? Less your club-inspired discount, let's say your platinum, which within the majority of you are, and another 15% comes off that too. Thank you as well to Stephen, who's let me know what's in his cart. He says, I've caved. Stephen Lee Guy says, I bought all the bag dies now, and now I have to get a sewing machine. Lol. I've been wanting to start Softcraft for over a year. Today's show has given me the kick that I need. And you know what? More than anything, I think today, hopefully you've snapped up a lot of the deals. I know a lot of you have. We've had sellouts, limited stocks. But I think it's lovely to read. I know, Stephen, you said, somebody mentioned earlier, I think it was Anne was saying, you know, it's kind of been the spur, this show, to either get you back into your Softcraft or give you the kind of courage and confidence to give it a go. So if we've done that today, then certainly it has been a job well done. Just before we do disappear, though, we must just bring you, I think, one of the bang for buck best deals on the show. A saving, well, you can see it here, of almost, £191, $260. Is this an 80% saving? This is one of those 80% savings on our quilting pattern guides. This has been very popular, Leanne.
Oh, I'm not surprised because it's an incredible saving, but also a very, very useful set of tools. You're getting in here 13 different sets of these quilting pattern guides. If you're not sure of what a quilting pattern guide is, it's an acrylic template about the depth of a cutting ruler where you use it with your free motion sewing foot on your machine, put this free motion foot up against the end and then move the fabric around and quilt, sew, stitch a line around those shapes, and when you move the fabric around and join them by rotating them, you can make all of the different patterns that you can see down the side. And you're getting 13 of these. These smaller ones all make 4 different patterns each that you can see here, and you're getting all of these. It's not a choice of. Every single one has 4 entirely different patterns, no repeats. And then when we move into the larger sets, they make 6 different patterns each. And you can see they're a little bit more complex in their shape, but equally as usable, and the same concept. Put your free motion foot on, follow the template around, it's going to create the designs for you. Now, we worked out earlier that that is going to create you 62 different quilted patterns. This is what 62 quilted different patterns looks like. And you can see all, I'm just going to pick up a whole wodge and start to take you through them. There we go. You can see how beautiful and how different these are. And you can use these as a centre of a block, maybe with those, for example, or you can use to do all over patterns. There's a clamshell quilted pattern.
Yeah.
If you've bought the clamshell dies, addition, use the quilting pattern guide ruler over the top. You can quilt around your clamshell shapes and it looks absolutely precise and beautiful. Then you can do more motifs if you want. You can join them up and rotate them and make your own patterns. You can follow the guides that we've given you. They're all very different and all to be used to quilt patterns on your patchworked or plain fabric pieces. And you know, a lot of us will make quilts and send them off to be patchwork quilts and send them off to be professionally quilted. There are services where you provide the backing, the batting and the backing. You send your pieced top off and then a person will put it together and quilt a pattern on using a great big long-armed quilting machine. And that's great if that's what you want to do and that's your choice. Costs hundreds.
Right.
It costs a lot of money for that. However, if you've got these quilting pattern guides that we've got here, you can do this at home on your regular sewing machine. And so every part of that lovingly pieced heirloom that you've put together is entirely your work. And every single one of these different. And these are all of the options that you're going to have with those guides available at your fingertips. You're just going to choose the pattern you want and crack on and do it. I'm going to stop there, Ben, because I'm getting my arms aching. It's taking that long. But if you're wondering what that looks like in terms of finished projects,
these are amazing.
I've just got some examples for you. So this one here, the quilting pattern guides have been used to form the main part of the design, where you've got all of those lovely florals on there. We've followed it around. You can see it's actually part of that table runner. Or you can just make it as part of the quilt. So this is a blocked quilt with some nice square blocks in there, plain pieces of fabric, just some squares put together. And actually, for instance, when we look at that one, I'm loving the fact that you can see that. That's 4 squares of plain fabric pieced. And then that little bit of quilting from the pattern guide is what makes it look like something special. Yeah. Anybody can put 4 squares together and then follow a shape with a free motion foot, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. It really is. And you can see on the plain pieces some self-patterning again from that quilting guide. You can use it in a much more subtle way if you want, using your variegated threads. So this is using variegated thread. So there's a different colour in there and it's more of a self pattern. So you can see around the border and then an icon motif in the centre, that lovely pointy star there that you can see. You can do that. You can just use it to frame a piece for a cushion if you want to. And then a piece I absolutely love is where we've just cut some curves using a builder block design, and then we've used the quilting patterns to trace around and do that lovely curved quilted pattern on there, and it adds to the design and makes it feel very different from just regular straight lines.
Amazing. And do you know what, just to kind of top off the price of that, Hannah says, what a deal on those pattern guides. She says, when these were first launched, I only got 2 guides for that price. She says, run, don't walk, and snap these up. Never a truer word spoken there. And Lynn Morton, who was asking where you were from, is from Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, so you're just north of me, Lynn, in Newcastle. We're about 20 miles apart.
Well, there we go. Lovely to have you with us, Lynn, anyway, joining this crazy, crafty family that we are. What a brilliant day that has been. And, well, there's still more to come. Leanne, are you back with me on Monday?
I'm back with you on Monday. We've got a launch on Monday, Ben. I'm a bit excited.
Oh, I thought that. Why did I think that was on Tuesday? I'm not here on Tuesday. It is Monday.
It's Monday.
Yes.
Shall I say? Can I say? Am I allowed to say?
Don't ask me for permission.
Oh, so we're launching the final box in the Academy of Colour with the wax pencils. So this is where we get to see the certificate and the pin badge. It's the last one. I feel a little bit sad and a little bit elated that we've gotten this far on the journey together. We're going to have that final launch on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that, Ben.
It is going to be amazing. And as I not let the cat out of the bag, but you know, Leanne and I talked about that thing that happens, could potentially happen after the Academy of Colour. It's in talks, that other thing.
Wheels are in motion.
Wheels are in motion, so just hang fire on that. Well, that's going to be a fabbo day, yes, because Craig's in early doors, and then it's you and I in the middle show, isn't it? So stand by for that. It's going to be amazing. Can I thank you for a marvellous day once again today? Have a great weekend.
I have loved working with you again, Ben. Please have a gorgeous weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.
You will, and I shall look forward to it. I am back with you in a couple of hours for your final show for a Friday with Lily. We've got a masterclass. We're going to be looking at all things wisteria. Those garden gnomes are back as well, plus lots of individuals from the Nature's Gardens collections too. You can shop that show right now, and indeed you can shop the web right now for all of the deals as far as the spring sale is concerned. Up to 70% off, and of course the extra 15% discount with the wheel deal today too. Shop the website, check out your baskets and carts, and we'll see you back here in a couple of hours for that final Friday show. It's going to be a masterclass. It's going to be great. We'll see you then. Bye for now.